Hello, everybody. Thank you, Ron, for joining us. I am very pleased to spend some time today to discuss about metrics for data management in plant breeding departments. So don't hesitate to use the chat to ask questions. I will take a few minutes at the end of my speech to answer. And let's start. First of all thought leaders in R&D departments assume that you all wonder these questions. Which process of your plant breeding workflow is it worthy to enhance? What gains can you expect from each breeding workflow improvements? How to choose the right indicator for process performance measurements? So if you ask these questions, I think you are at the right place. With our team, we have run plenty of projects of IT transformation in agronomy and plant breeding and prove better performances. So I thought, why not share this knowledge with the community? And I have prepared today some review of our experience with methodologies to apply to your own agronomy or breeding activity to detect, track process improvement opportunities, or to evaluate potential gains in resources or time consuming through the use of KPI. Before starting, I would like to introduce Dorian. We are a team of more than 25 experts in AG, tech, and data, engaged in better organize, share, and valorize our research data, notably to respond the insights of centralization to guarantee on long and complex processes, the full traceability and collaborativity within your departments, the durability and security in order to maximize the management of the knowledge on which is a strong asset of your organization with the potential of continuous improvement. Of course, the optimization, offering the possibility to manage the data in real time and save the user time to focus on their decisions. So the today's subject is very important to us because all our actions in IT transformation projects are highly motivated by improving the KPI. They are particularly promoted along the project of IT transformation we work on. In fact, we define at early stages of the project some business KPIs that the project stakeholders will be interested in tracking and improving by these projects. So today, after a short introduction on why setting up a KPI strategy in the breeding departments, I will focus my presentation on 5 examples of KPI which are easy to track in your breeding process. I classify them in 3 categories: enhance your plant breeding processes, accelerate your information management workflow, and pilot your breeding department. These examples are only a few of many more that you can set up, and I will be pleased to have your feedback on current and past experiences. Finally, I will conclude on some recommendation to fully operate your KPI strategy. And as an appetizer, let me tell you who is your best partner for setting up this KPI strategy. This is your team. The cooperation is an indicator measurement and is very important in reviewing the key of the success of the KPI strategy. Let's start with a short quote which to me illustrates the importance of setting up the KPIs. It's Lord Kelvin, the physicist and inventor of the 0 Kelvin, who said, if you cannot measure it, you cannot improve it. So as R&D thought leaders, we see all the importance of the constant improvement, which require to have the means of measuring the efficiency. And that's why we are here today. I wanted to start with a small theory to start. The KPI are values of that we measure for your organization success. So they measure how the department can grow. However, behind every KPI, there is the implication that the current conditions influence the trends and inform the prediction for future growth. So identifying leading and lagging indicators will help you to qualify what assess your business current state and predict the future conditions. In short, what is the difference between leading and lagging indicator? Leading indicators measure the things that affect your productivity. So you should track and monitor them to get the clues on what you can improve. It may also predict the future success. They are finally like input oriented. However, they can be in some cases difficult to track. On the other hand, lagging indicators measure how the changes can be performed. It tells you how you have done, but it doesn't give you any proof of how you could change and measure the effects of the changes. They are finally output oriented, but on the other hand, they are easier to track. As a conclusion, use your leading indicators to impact your lagging ones. All the KPIs I've quoted today are mostly leading indicators. It will be your role as brain leader to apply your own organization where your lagging ones are probably already tracked. Finally, you will see that along my presentation, it is very, very important you will see that it's very important for us to recommend to have an information management solution that doesn't restrict your ability to explore data and gives you the total freedom to navigate in and around. If now we focus our attention on KPI metrics in plant breeding departments, we need to have a spotlight on the breeding program that involves trial management and operations over years and locations. Indeed, on 5-10 year strategy of variety development, several stages need to be worked through and validated to move forward. So building a KPI metric strategy for a breeding program requires to build specific indicators at each stage. As an example, specific one for crosses or inbred line fixings or back crosses. And they need to be specifically designed to take into consideration the process constraints and the objective of improvement. If we zoom in on a seasonal workflow, like represented here, we can think about new indicators of performances that you can measure and improve. The KPI can be set up finally at each phase of this process to improve the productivity and the efficiency of the whole process. The breeding manager can also track some KPI which are based on transversal activities like stock inventory or sample shipments, but many examples can be set up. However, today I will focus on only 5 examples on specific R&D activities. Let's start with one example of KPI to support the enhancement of a process in plant breeding. And I wanted to focus on the number of successful crosses. The breeders plan their crosses based on breeding goals and the resources they have in hand. So the choices of the crosses to be done in advance is very crucial. Sometimes the crosses are physically done by another person who planned them. It requires, in this case, to document, to assist the field operators to follow the instructions of crosses. And the flowering issues or the compatibility between male and female can also have an impact on the results of hybridizations. So the performance of the crossing activity can be evaluated through the rate of the successful crosses compared with the crossing plan you did in advance. This index can be optimized with notably a comprehensive data management tool which facilitates the transmission of grading decisions from office to the field. One of the many functionalities can be labeling strategy of the males and females in the crossing platform, or giving a mobile application to preview the crosses to do, or tracking the blooming of female and male to facilitate the feed work. But we can see many other examples. In summary, the information management system should support the recovery of information for a quick KPI calculation. And it also can propose the tools or the, I would say, an automation pipeline to improve the performances. But this is an example, and many more examples can be imagined. I notably think about the rate of repeated cross, but maybe you can quote and share your own ones. I'm sure that you already have some KPI tracked, and you will see that with a centralized system, we can focus on enhancing the plant breeding process. Let's see now another example of KPI with a focus on accelerating your information management workflow. And I will start with the measurement of the time and the delay to centralize the results from observation in the field to the database. The plant scoring in field in our business is time-consuming work, but it remains highly crucial to characterize the phenotype. The digitalization doesn't need to be proved any longer, but I have again summarized some of many gains of the digital scoring, like time saving, no double copy, comfort of work, the data reduction of data vulnerability with loss of paper and so on. As the observation need to be confronted with environmental condition and genetic sequences to be fully valorized in your breeding process, the data centralization of your phenotypic observation in a comprehensive database is very important, and it structures this valuable information. So I recommend to track this easy metric, that's the time to get your observation from field centralized. Paper, Excel, specific or commercial application with tablet, many options can exist to take observation directly from the source, but how to copy this information in the database? Our experience shows that a lot of time can be saved in this process of data centralization with a very low risk of losing information. But beware, saving time must not be at the expense of the security integrity. And Dorian offers a software suite which integrates offline work synchronized with a plant breeding data management software. It makes like a smooth information management pipeline that will support you into the metric measurement and lean improvement. Let's see now another example, finally at the end of a seasonal workflow, the time to release reports from the decision committees. In seed industries, the breeding teams cooperate with development team, or committees can be planned to review the results and make decisions of advancements and promotion. These committees make their decisions on reports or graphics which need to be prepared previously and in a very short time. Once the results are consolidated and validated, it is time-consuming to report these results in a comprehensive format and share them to all stakeholders. So how long does it take? Retrieve this information, analyze them, choose the criteria to consider, design the report, and share them. This is a powerful KPI to track. And there is much performance to gain if the research can benefit from an easy to use data management tool to recover this valuable information, reduce the diversity of tools for report building, like PowerPoint, Tableau, Crystal Report. All these tools are commonly used to produce reports on numerical data. They can be fully integrated into your data management solution. Invest time into designing reusable predefined templates, which doesn't need any more further configuration, and reduce the transfer between heterogeneous tools to disclose the final information. These are many gain for your research and development team. And Dorian has supported several teams globally in these processes of generating reports for decisional committees. This KPI takes a higher importance if the departments will deal with several and multicultural teams over the globe. Let's see now another example on piloting the. Okay, let's see an example on new R&D staff onboarding. The R&D is mainly supported by trained staff who handles tools and methods that are put in place for a long time. And the R&D organization can also face with human staff turnover, but also moving of staff among crops and departments. So it is crucial for department productivity to be able to onboard new staff as soon as possible. If the employees take half a year to become productive, nobody wins. Fortunately, a strong onboarding process can double the new hire productivity. It is recognized also that an efficient onboarding will build trust and strengthen the company culture. It ensures also the stability of knowledge above the human turnover. And so the employees need a high learning, low stakes period to acquire skills and become familiar with the tools of processes. But it requires also to measure it. The data management system can help the stakeholders to collect this information, to calculate the time to get trained, and to measure the efficiency by asking feedback about the hiring process. Clarity also brings efficiency. So we recommend to invest on a collaborative e-learning platforms and data management tools which document the processes, which structure the process, and it also brings a better efficiency of onboarding. And finally, we recommend that the onboarding it is also the possibility to maintain a lean improvement with new coming in the teams to review and develop new ideas on these processes. So collect them and optimize them. It will be a good feedback. Last example, a KPI which should help into piloting the efficiency of R&D departments. This is, of course, the review of costs. I will take the example of the trial activity. The total of charges for a trial, and more particularly for the management of this trial, will impact the investments on further projects. So incorporating into a trial management system some index of costs can offer possibilities for R&D managers to track the investment and charges. Depending on the level of detail, many cost information can be collected or compiled. for example, the cost of soil preparation work, on machine use, or on phenotyping missions. And Dorian, through its software solutions, can offer the R&D manager the possibilities to manage these KPI and track their evolutions. Over years or seasons, they can measure the evolution and make decisions on particularly reallocation of resources. This index can be also put in place to or used as a criteria of priorities in several trial management. It came time to conclude, so I wanted to say that KPI, like everything else in business, are subject to change. So be agile. Over time, your process will behave differently. The breeding goals will evolve in response to the market, notably. You may discover that a KPI isn't helping you progress toward a goal, or that's not driving the wrong action. That's why it's important to establish a formal process of iteration to monitor what's working and what's not. Once you decide on which process and with what tools KPI will be monitored, we recommend to follow these steps to keep your KPIs on track. First, schedule reports on recurring cycles. Gather stakeholders to review KPIs data on a schedule that follows the natural cadence of your R&D activity. During these reviews, ask yourself the right questions. Do you see any trends or significant changes from the last period? Are any of your KPIs underperforming? Are you leading KPIs appropriately, informing your lagging KPIs? Do the right people own the right KPIs? These are examples of questions that you need to ask yourself. Answering this question can be also the occasion to review the KPI to track. But as I mentioned at starting the presentation, a successful KPI strategy is one adopted by all the stakeholders in your department, from collection of indicators to report of results. So you should publicize the results periodically to involve any people in your department in this lean improvement. Don't forget that the goal is transforming KPI results to actions. So now revise or reinvent KPIs as appropriate, and Dorian can support you. With tracking tools combined with our business intelligence and with our reporting tools, all these KPIs can be tracked within the software delivered by Dorian. And this webinar just highlighted very few examples already set up by some of our customers or on past projects. But you can have your own. And I notably invite you to download our ebook on that subject. There are many more examples. And I assume that you have also your own ones, and I will be pleased to discuss about them. So if you wish, you can now quote them in the chat, and I will give my feedback. Thank you very much.